And welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back here to the channel, guys, for another news roundup video. And in today's video we are going to be discussing a wide range of topics, from the likes of the controversial game Girona against Barcelona, which is scheduled to take place in the USA. We're going to have the latest on all of that information. We're going to be going through some transfer stories which often come about in the international break, from the likes of Pogba, De Young, Neymar, and we're also going to be discussing Ernesto Valverde and our upcoming trip to the Anoeta to face Real Sociedad. All of that and more coming up in today's video. Sit back and relax. Let's do this. But before all of that, how could I not thank every single one of you guys tuning into today's video? I have now reached an incredible and unbelievable 100,000 subscribers, and honestly guys, I'm blown away by this. I'm simply blown away, speechless, and that is something I don't often associate with myself. I'm not often speechless on this channel, but really 100,000 subscribers, I don't know how I can thank you. I am really going to try and think of something good to do. What I am going to do now is apply for my YouTube plaque. That's what you get when you get to 100k. I want to include that in whatever video I do to celebrate that 100,000 subscribers, and that takes about 4 to 6 weeks to actually arrive with me here in the UK. So what I'm going to do is, when that plaque arrives, when it comes, I'm going to have something which I can give to you guys, can celebrate 100k with, and we are going to do something special. So if you do have any suggestions for that special 100k video, please let me know in the comments down below. And like I say, thank you all so much for your unbelievable support, for all of your comments, for all of your subscriptions, and just every single one of you who keep coming back, watching the videos, leaving your thoughts. That's what this channel is all about. The community here right now is incredible. Thank you, and thank you again. But on to the video itself, and we are going to start, like I say, with that game, Girona against Barcelona, which is all but official now. That will be the game this season that will be played in the United States. Girona and Barca, arguably the Catalan derby of the La Liga season. An official document was basically leaked. Girona then went and confirmed it on their website, and the game will take place in America on the 26th of January 2019. It'll be played at 2:45 local time on a Saturday in Miami at the Hard Rock Stadium, which has a capacity of 65,000 spectators. And despite La Liga's obvious intentions, I wouldn't get too ahead of this right now. I wouldn't get too engrossed in this game in the USA, simply because it is still in the balance. The players, the clubs, the fans, they're not happy about it. They still don't want to go and play this game, and it is still in their hands. They can still decide their fate. They can still get out of this if they really want to. So I wouldn't get too ahead of yourself just yet on this game. And it just happens that this game by La Liga, the two clubs that are picked out, like I say, are the two Catalan clubs, Girona and Barcelona. And for me, that is no coincidence. It is simply no coincidence from Spain in regard to this game. And according to a report in COPE, La Liga have a very clear plan for this game, and basically it does really bring out their ulterior motives. La Liga say that no political symbols will be allowed in the stadium in Miami, no Catalan flags, nothing at all like that political. And in fact, La Liga will organise that every single fan inside the stadium, they'll be given a national flag, they'll be given a Spanish flag to wave, and the Spanish national anthem will be played before the game. And that's something that doesn't even happen in regular La Liga games, and whilst they don't really like to mix politics and football, sometimes it's impossible not to. And in this case, I think there's certainly more to this story than just football, and it's going to be really interesting to see how all of this unfolds, how the clubs react, how the players react, and the fans, of course. Like, the fans of Girona here have been robbed really of that home Catalan derby, and that shouldn't really be the case. So let's see what happens, let's see how this unfolds, but right now it really is unclear. And on next to something completely different, and of course during these international breaks you often get players travelling away from their clubs. They do some interviews, they do some off the record sort of stuff with journalists, and things can come out, quotes in the media, and there are some very interesting remarks here from Paul Pogba during the past few days when he's been away with the French national team. And he was basically asked about Barcelona's interest over the summer. There was a lot of speculation linking him with a move away from United, and he basically responded with the following: "My future is currently in Manchester. I'm I'm still playing there at the moment and I have a contract, but who knows what might just happen in the very near future. Interesting words there from Pogba, and this all comes, of course, after earlier on this week Gerard Piqué spoke at length really about Paul Pogba, and he basically said that he'd welcome Pogba to the Camp Nou and that he feels he would be a good addition to the club. So it's a really interesting story. There's a lot of links right now to Pogba, a few quotes as well from inside the club, from players at Barca, perhaps trying to bring him in, and it is going to be one to keep an eye on over the coming months too. Another potential midfield target now, Frankie D Young. He's been in action over the international break and he actually made his official debut for the Netherlands senior team yesterday, and he marked his debut with what was a really impressive display. Great midfield quality, he's fantastic on the ball, he did really well with the Netherlands style, he was pressing, he was working hard as well, and he did mark his debut with a very good assist, a good little pass into the path of Memphis Depay during their 2-1 win over Peru yesterday evening, and he really is a huge talent in midfield, somebody that I'm absolutely sure that we are going to go for, whether it be in January, whether it be next summer. He is somebody that seems to be improving every game he plays. He's looking more mature and looking more dynamic in that midfield area. Frankie De Jong is certainly a man to keep an eye on. Another fun story to bring you from the circulating reports that do come with the international break, and this particular one pertains to Neymar, who, according to Mundo Deportivo, still deeply regrets his move away from the club to join Paris Saint-Germain. According to the report in MD this morning, which we've seen several times really since Neymar has left the club, according to that report, he misses his friends at Barca, and in an ideal world, he would love to return to the club that he left in 2017. But after difficult with the board, of course, upon his exit, there was court cases, there was a lot of collateral damage with his move to PSG. This naturally looks a return off the table, very unlikely and near enough impossible, I would say, which is fully understandable given the circumstances. But I just find it interesting really to see these reports, and I would love to know deep down, does Neymar regret it? Because for me, look at how his career has gone since he's moved, looking at the things that have followed, I would say personally he'd have to regret it. Leaving Messi, Suarez, that incredible trio, he must miss that kind of company in his own team, challenging for all titles, being at the pinnacle of European football. Surely deep down, he's got to regret it. And now some news on the coach of Barcelona, Ernesto Valverde, who has been the subject of some speculation in both Sport and MD over the past few days, with both papers really discussing his future at Barcelona. And Sport came out with a very misleading headline in many ways. It basically said Valverde will do a Guardiola, which actually meant that Valverde will be making a decision over his contract at the club very, very late, and he's not really going to decide until towards the end of the season perhaps, which is basically similar to what Pep Guardiola did during his time with the club. He used to just sign 1-year rolling contracts, never tying him down for too long a period. And basically Valverde's contract expires at the end of the season. MD believe that he will be offered a renewal at the club, and it is high, according to MD, on the list of priorities for the board right now. But for me, we should be waiting a little while, see how this season develops, see how the team continues to play under Valverde, and then make a decision, and we'll see how we end up with this season as to whether Valverde stays. And finally, guys, just some news now on our upcoming match, the one that takes place after the international break is over, which will see us head to Real Sociedad and the daunting visit, really, to the Anoeta Stadium. And although we broke the curse last season, of course, we went to the Anoeta, came from behind, and won in a fantastic win that was. It will still be a really, really difficult visit, and perhaps it's going to be made even harder by the fact they've actually decided to do a lot of stadium work in the past few weeks. They've relayed their pitch, they've done a lot of work around the pitch as well, and they have been in a real race to get this all finished, get this all done before that game at the Anoeta, which is going to be a week on Saturday. And it's really interesting to see that Anoeta pitch, how it's going to develop, how it's going to hold up. And La Liga, according to MD, have been there, they've surveyed the pitch, they've looked into it, they've inspected it, they were nearly there for 3 hours looking at this pitch, and according to MD, it has passed all those checks, it has been given the green light. And all that I can hope is that that inspection really was a thorough one, because like I say, we want to avoid a bad pitch, and certainly we want to avoid anything like what we saw when we went to Real Valladolid, when the pitch really was absolutely atrocious. So that's basically what's going on right now in the world of Barcelona. The international break is still going on, but I will still have uploads coming up for you in the coming days. Of course, we will be looking ahead to that game at the Anoeta as the week goes on next week. Thank you, as always, for joining me, guys. Please leave your thoughts down below on everything we've mentioned today, and thank you thank you once again for those 100,000 subscribers. I will see you soon, but until then, as always, Vesca El Barça.